Brother Isaiah, again with another video for all the conscious brothers, the conscious sisters, and the conscious community. Keeping the struggle because we know that it's through that struggle that we grow. Also, I like to say that it is, in fact, a slow process for progress, and that the race is not to the swift, it's to those that remain dutiful. So make sure you stay in this thing for the long haul. Y'all already know my videos, they never constitute legal advice. I'm just your brother. I just share with you education and information about malls and about my travels throughout my journey called life. And I like to extend these honors to you because when you're honoring man and you're honoring woman, you're honoring yourself. And I would like to also give adoration to Allah, who is the head temple of my life, and extend that same love, courtesy, and acknowledgement to all of his messengers and all of his prophets. And I would like to say peace to all of you, beloved brothers and sisters, and grand rising to all of the conscious ones. Myself, I'm doing great. I'm taking everything in steps, stages, and degrees as always. I'm constantly, steady, daily unfolding in this body of information that we have embarked upon in this new age that we live in. One thing I want to say, I want to speak on something because I know that a lot of you guys probably run into this problem, right? Have you ever did an endorsement? Have you tried to endorse a bill or endorse a contract, right? And when you send it in to the lender or to the holder, he doesn't comply, right? He doesn't do what he's required to do. The insurance policy that grants you benefits comes through the United States redemption in lawful money. See, when you receive a loan, what you have to understand is that the actual loan that you're receiving from the corporation is currency. Currency carries a balance of lawful value. Okay, so whenever you receive currency, it would always have the lawful amount that you're actually receiving stated in that currency. So when you receive lawful money, they have to disclose it to you. They can't give you lawful money and not give you truth in lending disclosures, because that would violate your rights for you not to know the real value of what you're actually purchasing, right? We were miseducated purposely so that we wouldn't understand financial terms. So when you come upon a financial instrument, you wouldn't understand its terms. And quite naturally, from the level of education that you have, you would more than likely impair the obligation. When you went to school, one of the first things they taught you was what? What a noun was. A person, a place, or a thing. Y'all remember that? You went to school just like I did, right? So they taught you about a noun. They taught you what an adjective is, an adverb, a linking verb. Y'all remember those things? And if you don't remember those things, you need to go back and look those things up. You need to go back and look into adjectives. You need to look into linking verbs. You need to know what an adverb is. You need to know you need to know what a synonym is, an anonym. You see what I'm saying? All these things that I'm talking about is the things that they're using against you today, because you're not understanding the language. You forgot how to read and write. See, they gave it to you when you was such a young age. They gave you all these adjectives, linking verbs, and all this stuff. But you got it when you was such a young age, and you never really had to use it. But you use it every day in language, not a word that you're using these terms. But you're not conscious of those terms, like in reference of entering into a contract. So if I'm a natural person and I enter into a contract, and in the contract it identifies me as a buyer, right? Then that means that I'm in an official capacity, right? Because I'm not being identified as a man. I'm actually being identified under a specific title called buyer, purchaser. You see what I'm saying? And when you understand what that actually means, you'll be able to deal with the situation better, right? So when I say you receive, when you apply for a loan, you're applying for what is known as a double bookkeeping entry. I'm gonna say it again, because most of y'all still haven't figured it out yet. All right, when you apply for a loan, you're applying for a debit and a credit. Okay, the debit will be the instrument and the credit will be its due balances. Okay, it's a double bookkeeping entry. In order to pay the loan, you got to receive the currency. The currency is considered as the extension of credit, and the due balances is what you agree to pay. See what I'm saying? The due balances is what lawfully must be applied toward the agreement in order to settle it. You don't pay with cash. You don't pay outside of the source of funds that generated the accounting. We're in an accounting system. In accounting, you only deal with the value stated on the ledger. You're dealing with money of an account. You're not dealing with no other kind of funds, yo. You're dealing with money on account. It generates on account. Okay? Do you understand what that means? Money on account. You purchase an account where money generates every month. You are the purchaser of value. But when the value is able to be paid to you, you don't know what to do with it. When you receive the notice of the value that you're entitled to for the purchase of the loan and its status due balances that you should be collecting on, you ain't collecting them. Something must be wrong with you. You're getting notices, they telling you that it's due to you. Don't you own the account? Or are you confused between your identity and your account? Because you identify by your account principal. What do you mean I identify by my account principal? You better wake up, boy. You better wake up and smell the coffee, because you're living in a time now where you must know the truth. You identify through your account principal. What is an account principal? Account principal is a taxpayer. What is a taxpayer? An entity designed to pay interest on a man or a woman's obligations. Anytime a man or a woman assumes an obligation, he has a legal taxpayer that is obligated to pay those taxes for him. The taxpayer is not a man or a woman, it's actually a profile. It's a profile, yo. It ain't no such thing as no straw man. Ain't no damn straw man for real. You got a profile that they created, a profile of a person. You have a profile of a specific person. Now, I don't know what that might mean to you, but that means a whole lot to me. Because you should understand what a credit profile is. How the hell don't you know what a credit profile is and you using it? Matter of fact, you identify by the profile. You are the only one entitled to use the profile. Whenever the profile is used by you, the obligations of the profile will be due to you, because you are the creditor of the profile. So when the amount is due to you, you think it means you gotta go pay it. You don't understand that it's saying that it's payable to you. It's coming to you on one side, but it's payable to you on another side. It's due to you on one side and payable to you on another side. And if you do not accept payment, the creditor has the rights to retain the interest against you, right? You don't understand what's going on. If you do not accept payment, if the payment goes unaccepted, then the creditor retains an insurable interest in acceptance of his obligations. If his obligations are not accepted and he's offering his obligations for acceptance and they come back unaccepted, then he continues retaining the interest and holding it for the benefit of the actual true creditor, because the true creditor won't take possession. He won't part way with the goods. He keep offering the goods to the true creditor and he won't part way. He won't take acceptance. So since he can't take acceptance, the trustee holds the value to a later date and continues to offer the value to the original party, who originally is entitled to receive payment. Most people don't understand, like, when you get a bill, right, you got to understand that the name on the bill, right, the name in all caps, all right, well, we know that that's a legal person's name, right? So, but in the United States, all individuals are natural persons. I don't know if you understand what that might mean to you, okay? I want you to understand that when you see that name in all caps on that bill, that's the name of an individual. Whoa, Brother Isaiah, hold up, slow down, Brother Isaiah, where you going with this? I gotta wake you up, man, because you won't accept payment. You won't take possession. You won't part way. You don't understand what the bill is trying to tell you. You see? Now, we know that an individual is a legal person, right? So every man and every woman identifies through a legal person, right? Now, why? Have you ever wondered why did they give us a legal identity in the first place? Why did we have a legal identity? Why did my identity have to be legally assigned and registered for me? Because this is an accounting system, right? So they knew that they was going to create a system where everything can run on accounts of each individual. So they created an accounting system. So at the time of birth, when every man and woman is born, an account is created for that man to manage that man's affairs throughout his life. All of his interests, his debits, his property, and everything will be managed through an account principle generated for him at birth. Whether or not he understands what his identity really is something different. You got to learn that as you grow, right? That because me in a sound mind, your mind becomes sound when you begin to learn and educate yourself, and you become knowledgeable, wise, and then you become very understanding of the times that we live in, the foods, the things that's going on around us. You have to have understanding for that. I could come to you and say, man, you ain't supposed to be eating that, man. That's wrong. You know that's processed food. You be like, oh, you look at me like, oh, great, what you mean, bro? This is McDonald's. What you talking about? See, but men of sound mind and understanding, everybody don't have sound mind, and everybody don't have understanding. Everybody is not wise. Don't y'all understand that everybody is not wise? Everybody is not. That's why so many people be lined up that chicken fillet and they got so many goddamn flavors in the chicken. Bruh, sis, you eat chemicals, man. The crackers that you like, the tater chips that you like. Don't eat the chip. Put it in your mouth, suck on it until all the flavor is gone. Once you get all the flavor out of that chip and it ain't no more taste to it, then eat the chip. And I bet you spit it out. You be like, oh, this stuff nasty. Because the chip don't taste good at all. It's the chemicals they put over the chip to make you eat it. The chemicals, while you crunching on it, the chemicals blending with whatever the hell they made the chip out of. Whatever they made that out of is blending with the chemicals that you taste. And it allows you to be able to consume it because the taste buds. Man, listen, man. I promise you, Allah's my witness. If you take 90% of the food that you love to eat and you take the chemicals out of it, take the chemicals out, fry your and don't put no seasoning in it. God damn it. Fry that chicken and don't put no seasoning in it. And tell me how much you love chicken. Do you love the chicken or do you love the seasoning? Talk to me. Talk back to me, because I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You say you like chicken, but I believe you hooked on seasonings. Because if that chicken didn't have, how many of y'all done went to a restaurant and got something to eat? And you be like, ooh, this stuff ain't got no taste on it. Girl, give me that salt and pepper. Huh? Because you gotta have some kind of taste bud, right? It gotta have some kind of taste to it for you to consume it, right? 90% of the stuff you eat, you wouldn't eat. Why you think they make candy have sweet taste? Because they know that if you knew what it really was, you wouldn't eat it. So they gotta make it in a way where it supersedes your intelligence, to where you're not focused on what it is, you're focused on how it tastes. These people are clever. Listen, these people are very clever. And you know what? And you know what? What's so sad? Because it's the ones amongst us that are competent. It's the ones amongst us that have a sound mind. It's the ones amongst us that know credit, no financing, no contracts, agreements, banking, corporations. These are the people that's taking advantage of us. The same ones that build the schools for us, the same ones that build the hospitals for us, the same ones that build the malls for us. It's the same ones manipulating us and taking advantage of us because they have knowledge that we don't have. And with the knowledge that they have, they're able to take advantage of those who have less knowledge or not informed of certain things, because they're able to use everything to their own benefit. If the secrets was with us and y'all don't know the secrets, then we can do whatever we need to do, because ain't nothing y'all can do about what we doing, because y'all don't even know how we doing it. You see? So and you know, I learned that like when you go into court, it's your own brothers and sisters that's taking advantage of you, man. The man in the road, yeah, he's a man just like you. He a person just a living person just like you, right? And he's subject to all the same laws, to all the same rules that you subject to. And he know who you truly are. And he know that you are a representative of a legal person and everything. But because they don't operate off just off that principle. What determines how they dictate the outcome is the way you function. If you function like a person, then you get treated like a person. All right. You know the truth about your true existence, and a man expresses himself. A man expresses himself in writing. The pen and pad is mightier than what you can go in court and say any day. All right. It's mightier when you put it in writing. And you know what I'm saying? And it has way more weight. Like I said, when I went, I didn't really even understand. When I first came home from the federal institution, I was out like 9 months. I was on federal probation, right? And throughout that process, while I was on probation, 19 traffic tickets came up. 19. Y'all probably seen the video where I got a video up where I was in court and I was speaking. That was when I first came home. I was just learning this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had knew about it, but I'm saying I was just learning how to exercise my rights in court. I'm not afraid to speak truth to power. I've never been afraid to speak truth to power. Never, ever. My whole lifestyle from a childhood on up, I've always had interactions with law. I've always been at odds with the system. I've been to group homes. I've been to boys' homes. I've been in juvenile youth centers. I've been. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So I've been in all type of odds with the system my whole life, right? So at first, I used to always feel like something was wrong with me, like, because I stayed in trouble so much. But I always ever since I was a young child, man, I always felt like something went right. I don't know if y'all ever felt that feeling like you just like something just don't seem right. I always knew it was something wrong about the way this system was operating. I couldn't put my hand on it. But that's why I always went contrary to everything that the system put into play, and I always ended up in trouble. But throughout my troubles, throughout me going in and out of prison, I was educated by the same system that locked me up. I learned everything that I learned through incarceration. From a juvenile all the way up. When I went to those group homes and boys homes, I learned so much stuff because we had to take programs, and they program you to rehabilitate you, quote unquote. So we had to learn all these different type of problem sheets and different type of behavior patterns and different things that I had to learn. I went to AA, NA, anonymous classes. I done went through so much stuff, and I didn't realize what it was doing and what was actually happening to me throughout this process. So the system actually educated me. I was educated through the system. When I first went to jail, I took the GED placement test and I scored on a 3rd grade level. When I got my results, I was so hurt and embarrassed because I thought I was the smartest thing walking the earth. When I first went to jail, you couldn't tell me I didn't know everything. Because coming off the street, I thought I had it all because we were selling big drugs and making big money, but I was dumb as a box of rocks. If they pulled me over or something, I couldn't even defend myself. I didn't know nothing. And that's how a lot of our brothers and sisters is out here right now. They got big houses and nice cars and all this stuff, but can't protect it. Don't know the slightest thing to protect their own property, to protect their own person. So I went through all that stuff, man, through the schooling and all of that. And what I realized is that, in order for me to do what I'm doing right now, to teach, to seek out information, to provide a platform to where I can give information to people of like mind that's on the same journey trying to, get through all of this bull crap that we going through this system that we live in and receive the real rewards that we are entitled to, because we're entitled to the blessings of life. And as being a living person, you should benefit for everything that was created by God. So by them trying to take that livelihood away from you by identifying you under a different status in which this other status is unrecognized. So it didn't make sense. I'd be like, well, why did they have to, why we can't just identify as men and women and be recognized as the actual man that I actually am? Why did you have to give me a legal name, a trust in my name, to where whenever I use the trust, I have to ascertain my true identity in order to get any benefits from the trust? If I assume the role of the trust, then I pay everything for the trust. But why did you have to make my name into a trust? And if I'm the beneficiary of it, why did I have to ascertain my identity? Why do I have to prove to any holder of my social security information or my vital information that I am the living person affected or entitled by that information? And the system is so cold-blooded. I'm telling you right now, one of the most important things that you can ever learn is how to self-identify. Identity is the most important thing in this world. Is your identity. Who are you? See, your identity is so important because you got all these companies holding property for a specific person. And you know what? It kind of make a little sense if you put two and two together. Because this right here is a person, right? What you see on the screen, this is a person. But I'm a man. But I'm a man, though. But what you're looking at is a person on the screen, though. Now, if the spirit inside, because Isaiah Joaquin Bay is this flesh, that's what's being identified. When you say Isaiah, I turn around because you're calling out my property, not because I'm identifying myself. That I'm not. I'm the authority of Isaiah Joaquin Bay. I'm the executive of Isaiah Joaquin Bay. I'm the intellect of Isaiah Joaquin Bay. I'm the steward of Isaiah Joaquin Bay. I'm the host of Isaiah Joaquin Bay. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. Isaiah Joaquin Bay is property that identifies a person. Okay? So the person, Isaiah Joaquin Bay, is identified by a name. But somebody else is the steward of that name. Somebody else is the host of that name. Somebody else is the representative of that name. See, the reason why your identity is so important because the person is not who you truly are. This flesh is not me. Then when you're looking at the screen, you ain't seeing me. That's not the real me. That's not the real me. In order for you to know who I am, I got to identify myself to you. It's more than one Isaiah Joaquin Bay. It's more than one person. Wake them up, brother. Wake them up. It's more than one person named Isaiah Joaquin Bay. Want to bet some money? I bet you it's more than one person with your name. The exact same name. You thought you was the only one that had that name, didn't you? You thought you was the only one. Ain't nothing new under the sun. You can't think of a name that ain't already been thought of. Oh, you thought you created something new. But then when you go down journey, you find somebody else with that exact same, you be like, damn, I thought I was the only one. Ain't nothing new under the sun, man. Nothing. Nothing. That's why they can't come up and say, oh, this is America. No, whatever it was before it was called America is what it is today. You can't give a new name to a territory and start identifying it by different names and calling it different things to confuse people so they wouldn't know what it is. Well, according to my understanding, the Bible is the written scriptures that where everything started. It's the biblical scriptures of the beginning of how everything started. Everything that they base their system on is based off the book. If the book don't have no relevance, then the children of Israel is not real. They don't exist. Then us black people being lost, our identity, all that stuff is fictitious. It's fake. It don't exist. Ain't none of it real. So if you saying the Bible is bull crap, then everything we represent is bull crap. Because that's what a lot of us is basing our truth on. I'm a Muslim, but at the same time, I understand scripture. You see what I understand? How you can't disregard the Bible and then the Quran come through the Bible. It was the first revelation. You see what I'm saying? Most people don't understand that if you don't believe the book, then what authority is over the government? Because according to the Bible says God is the highest authority. And that it gives out laws, not to just to us, but it also even gives out laws to the government in the book. And when they take oath in office, they put their hand on the same book. When the president take office, he gonna put his hand on either a Quran, a Bible. He gonna put his hand on some kind of holy book representing the divine creed. Why? 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 Why did Congress declare that the Bible is considered as lawful? It's considered legally law. You can Google it. The Congress passed law that the Bible is the law. It's legal law. So you don't have to use no codes and statutes in order to express any rights. You can use scripture in order to express rights. You can write using Mark, Matthew, Luke, John, and express any rights titles using an affidavit and use God's word against any trustee. You don't have to use no script. You don't have to use no codes. I know a person that got himself out of jail using just the scriptures only. He never used one code. He never used one statute, one code, none of that. He used all scriptures and got himself out of jail through I forgot what they call the things that you submit, but he submitted one of them, and he submitted a affidavit along with his name backed by scripture, man. They couldn't rebut the affidavit. They let that man out of jail, man. I done seen, you know what I mean, people I done seen get themselves out of jail. The brother that brought me into this body of information, that's where I learned it from. I was in a cell, sitting in a cell, mad as hell. I'm locked up. I'm sitting in a cell. I'm pissed off. Nobody writing me. Nobody sending me no money. I'm in here stressed the hell out. And I'm asking God, like, God, why you doing this to me? Why my people ain't writing me? Where my love at? Man, I suffered. I went 20 years, no letters from my brothers or my sisters. They didn't write me one time in 20 years. I did 20 flat. Didn't get one letter from one brother, one sister. And I got 6. So I'm in here. I'm in so much pain because I don't understand why. What's going on? Why am I? It's like he put me in a situation to endure certain pain so I can understand what other people have to go through. How can I help somebody coming out of prison if I ain't experienced what he been through? See, I've been in the streets. I sold drugs. I didn't been on drugs. I can experience certain things. I didn't have multiple women. I got multiple children by multiple. I can relate to a lot of different things on a lot of different levels, dealing with relationships, dealing with a lot of different things with being a father, being in prison. So many different ways I could connect to so many of our people on different things that we all experience. And those experiences allow me to be able to express myself in a way to relay a message to somebody who's been in a similar situation where they can tap in and understand where I'm coming from. Because of all the things I've been through, it allows me to look at life in a unique way. And the way that I look at things allow me to express it in a unique way. And that's why most people, when they follow me or they listen to my videos, they be like, man, you got to give, bro. The way you break that thing down, the way you do it, man, it's unbelievable. Like the way you take the word, take those, and it's a divine gift, man. Everybody can't read legalese. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I can take it. We can go on there right now and we can get all the gurus on a panel, and we can go to each act and read certain acts and have each person give their explanation on what it means. And I guarantee you that my explanation is gonna be so exclusive in the way that I break it down. It's gonna be like, damn, like everybody else, but the way Brother Isaiah broke that thing, cause I'm different, man. And the way that I've learned, the things that I've discovered, allows me to see things in a different way. I've actually discovered some very amazing things, yo. Like I got some information, man. I ain't gonna even stunt to you. I got some information. I don't even know how to put it out. On everything I love, I've been holding it for a minute, man. I got information that I don't even know. Like, I haven't figured out a way to deliver the information. That's how powerful the information is. That you can't even just give it away like that. You can't, because it's like you could be giving it to anybody, criminals or bandits or because you got to be mindful, because the more a man unfolds, the more the God force in the man unfolds. So the more that I know as a conscious man, the more I know as a wicked man too, because what determines whether I'm good or bad is my perception on how I act on my thoughts. I could be the righteous man ever. I can have all the knowledge and be very wise. But if I took that same wisdom and I used it for deceitful and deceptive measures, I can be a wicked ass man. I could be very wicked. And that's what we're experiencing. We're experiencing wise men and women use their wisdom to detriment of other men and women. And that's what we're going through. That's why we're going through all the crisis that we're going through. And they're hiding behind corporations and veils of titles, CFO, CEO, using these titles to protect them from injury for when they ever get discovered of their deceptive acts and practices of using corporations in order to gain an interest over somebody else's account. They do a lot of stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. All right. And they get away with it through the law merchant, because the law merchant by law allows things to function a certain way based off the operation of law. So through the operation of law, they're able to waive liability by saying, oh, this is just how, automatically it does this. But you already knew what you was doing, and you already knew that 90% of the people that received disclosures of funding wouldn't understand what the funding really was. They wouldn't understand if you went to a dealer and you got approved for a loan and they gave you an installment contract and it said truth in lending disclosures, APR, financed amount. You don't understand what that means. You don't know what the hell that means. They know you don't know what it means. That's why they give it to you. As soon as you sign it, they start collecting that amount from you. Now, how in the hell are you collecting what you promised me? How in the hell you approve me for something and then collect it from me? And then a lot of y'all so damn crazy. Y'all run around, you run around. I got a new car, boy, check this car out. You run out, hey man, look, I just got that mother nice, ain't it? Yeah, my car note ain't number 300. Car note? I thought you got approved for a loan. What the hell you mean car note? I thought you applied for a loan. If you applied for a loan, then the bank should pay it for you. Why you gotta pay it? The craziest thing I've ever seen in my life is somebody to apply for a loan, get approved for the loan, sign the agreement to repay the loan, and then 30 days later, start paying the lender the total amount of the loan that you never even received. A lot of y'all say, well, the bank, I'm paying the bank for the loan for me to get the car. So what you're saying is the bank gave the dealer a loan, and because the bank gave the dealer a loan, you was able to leave the car lot with the car, right? And then 30 days later, you got to pay back the bank for paying the dealer. Well, what my understanding is, if in fact that was true, if in fact you paying your car note every month, you're paying the bank back for paying the dealer, why didn't the dealer give you your title? If the dealer already got paid from the bank, the $50,000 that they said you was approved for that car, and it was approved, and the dealer told you the bank approved it, and you signed the agreement and the bank paid them, why they ain't gave you your title yet? So they're gonna collect another payment from you first before they give you your title? Wait a minute. If I'm paying this off for you as a loan, you ask me for a loan, you say, Liddell, hey, Isaiah, I need $50,000. And I say, what you trying to do? You trying to buy a car? All right, man, I give you $50,000. You just give it back to me. All right. You say, okay, I give you the I give the $50,000 to the car lot. They're going to give you the title. They're going to give you everything because the car is paid for. It's paid for. So if you paying back the bank and you ain't got no title or none of that in your possession, I ain't talking about no lien. See, they say, well, the lien title, because the bank put a lien on the title, right? So a lot of y'all do get a title back, right? But it got a lien on it, right? It usually have a lien on it saying that when you get your title through the dealer, you apply for the loan, they give you your title. But when you get the title, it'll have the bank on there as the lien holder, right? Saying that the bank holds a lien on the title. Well, that's an adverse action, because if the bank is the lender, then the bank is the one required to provide the funds for the loan. Why would they put a lien on your title if they are the lender and they are the one that's holding and providing the funds? It don't even make sense for them to, like, everything that they do, it don't even make sense. It's just that they taught us to accept this as a norm. So because they put it on TV, movies, they show it to us, we didn't practice this by going to the dealerships at a young age, not understanding law. We assume that that's right. But all that stuff that they doing is actually wrong. Everything that they doing is wrong. You should never get approved for a loan and not actually receive the value that you were approved for. Whenever you get approved, you need to tell them, hey, I want the, can you call them back and tell them I need them to apply that amount? You don't never get approved and don't demand that those funds be delivered. You don't never do that. If you get approved, you demand payment. You demand that they provide those funds that the instrument is saying is due. All right? You never pay that due amount to them. You crazy to pay them that due amount when the instrument says that you have the rights to demand the due amount be delivered. You demand delivery. The hell? You look like paying something back that you never even received. Oh, you received the document of title. Oh, he received the loan because he received the installment loan agreement and he signed it. Now we're going to take him to court and sue him because he did receive the loan. No, I didn't. I received the security. The loan is the amounts that the security provided. You never gave those amounts to me. Matter of fact, you start trying to collect them from me as if I had them in my possession, like you actually paid them to me. But you really didn't pay them to me. You paid me the instrument by delivery. And then because I got the instrument and the value is with the instrument, you assume and said, well, he does have those amounts because he's holding the instrument. But when did you actually apply those amounts to the instrument for me? You never did. You never did, but you try to collect. Well, you're violating the holder in due course rule. You can't claim that I have to perform if you haven't performed what you promised me first. If I applied for a loan and it was approved, you got to first pay that amount first. Then I can pay your ass. You ain't going to get paid before I get paid. You got to be out your damn mind. And we've been allowing them to do this to us forever. And they've been getting away with it, and we okay with that. How in the hell is you okay with somebody promising you something, never give it to you, and then make you pay something that you never received because you signed the security, and then they say, oh, well, he did receive it because he received the security and the disclosures. Man, stop playing. Stop playing. See, because what they're saying is that you received notice, and because you got notice that you were entitled to financing and you didn't claim it, then they say, hey, he defaulted. That's on him. He defaulted. We gave his ass notice. We put the truth in lending in there for him. We told him what his APR was. We told him what the principal amount of the instrument was. Hell, he ain't want to do nothing but sign it and give it to us. So, hey, look, we're going to collect that from him as his promise to pay. And that's what they do to you every time you sign a contract. They do a counter signature and accept your promise because you won't accept theirs. With that said, I'm going to leave you as I always do. In love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and equality for us all. Man, y'all got to tap the screen and give me a shirt, man, or something, man. Show me some kind of love, man. Salute to all my real ones.